guys, it's Reagan and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. This vlog I'm so excited for because I'm finally going to be reading one of my most anticipated releases of the year. So many incredible books come out, I feel like, in the month of April. Like February, March, April, I am just scrambling to read everything because there's so much I want to read, including this video's primary book, but there's actually two books on this TBR, so I'm going to be getting quite a few pages in, if I'm being honest. But the primary book on my TBR is Oathbound by Tracy Deonn. This is the third book to the Legendborn Cycle series, one of my favorite YA fantasy series out there. It's inventive, it's incredible, it has everything I truly love about YA fantasy, and I have been dying for the third installment to be released. So this vlog is going to be featuring this hunky book, and I'm hopefully going to be finishing it from beginning to end. Alongside that, I will be transparent, I also need to read Beautyland because my IRL book club is meeting exactly 1 week from today. So I desperately need to finish that too. But this is like a literary sci-fi fiction about belonging. I feel like I'm gonna really like it, but I really wanna read this, but I also really need to read this. So we're just gonna see if I can read it all. Get all the pages in, if you will. Vibe-wise, it's going to be a rainy next couple of days, I believe. We have a scattered series of like very intense storms. It is springtime in Texas, you know, so I'm hoping we have some good reading ambiance. In fact, a storm quite literally might be blowing in right now as we speak. Matilda, I can't let you out there if there's lightning. I'm so sorry. So I'm hoping the ambiance, the incredible books will keep me motivated. I get lots of pages in. I won't lie, I've started my second Chinese drama and I am in deep, I fear. In deep. It's all I think about all day. I wait till I can watch more of my Chinese drama. So that's that. But anyway, welcome to the start of this reading vlog. I am so excited, so let's get started. So the Chinese drama I'm watching is called The First Frost, which is a companion series to Hidden Love, which was the first Chinese drama I watched. It's much darker in tone, and there's some quite triggering elements to it, so I would look those up before choosing to watch this show, versus Hidden Love is like a lot more of an easy watch, I would say. But dare I say I like The First Frost more? I feel like that's an unpopular take, but the forced proximity, the devotedness, the angst, oh my god. I mean, I'm 18 episodes in and they're barely talking and I eat it up. I eat it up. Just so many longing looks. I also appreciate the construction of the story and the pacing of things. I don't know, it's hooked me. It's been quite entertaining. It's also on Netflix, but again, very different from Hidden Love, much darker. But it's past 5 and there's possibly going to be a rainstorm, so I feel like while I'm waiting for my laundry to finish, I'm gonna watch an episode. Let's make some dinner together. I'm making this like roasted tomato white beans situation. Should be really good. My tomatoes are roasting and I now just need to chop up an onion and some garlic. I have combined everything into one pan. I'm just gonna bring this into a simmer and let it cook down a little bit. It's literally just roasted tomatoes, beans, onions, garlic, some vegetable broth, and I'm roasting some bread in the oven to have with it. Really simple, really delicious. It doesn't look like much right now. It would look better if I had tomato paste, but I forgot to buy some, so that's fine. My little bean stew is ready. We also got some hot, crunchy bread to eat with the stew. Gonna be so good. It is time to sit down and start Oathbound. Did not make the bed today, neither did Clay. We forgot. It's fine. Good morning. We've made coffee. This is also time to grab a pre-breakfast, little fruit moment. And also me and my cough drops because I am mildly ill. I'm feeling a little, not like under the weather, but I just have a little bit of a cough. But I'm gonna read more Oathbound. I read, let's see, that much last night. This is a long book. I'll do a reading update soon and I'll keep y'all posted with how much I've read. But for right now, I'm just gonna read. Hi friends, good morning, happy Saturday. Clay and I are in the process of cooking up a quick little brekkie. We're actually going to our friend's apartment to go hang out at their pool today. But I wanted to do a reading update because I have read over 100 pages of Oathbound by Tracy Dion. And so far I'm liking this. I definitely had to read a summary of Bloodmarked. I started this and I was like, I don't remember anything. So I read a summary, which is available on the publisher's website, so shout out to them. And it helped a lot. And then it really made my remaining reading experience of this first 100 pages rather seamless. But let's take a step back. Let's talk about this YA fantasy series in general. So this is a contemporary fantasy series following our main character, Bree. But I will say, as the story has progressed, Bree is still very much the center main character of the story, but we now have perspectives and there are quite a few, like the cast of this book continues to get bigger and bigger, which I really appreciate and I think has made the series feel like larger in scope as we've gone along. But we're following Bree at the beginning of book 1. She is entering this prestigious high school program on the UNC campus. And there she witnesses a magical attack, which makes her become known to a couple things. One, magic is real. There are monsters and demons that attack humanity and magical people alike. And it's up to this secret organization to basically protect people. And it's based off of Arthurian legend. And she decides that she's going to try out to join the secret organization to fight against these monsters. And that sort of kicks off the story. But from there, it is a very entertaining series of friendships, secrets, magic, blood, family history, corruption. It's a very clever story in that it possesses a lot of like really great YA tropes, but it's also taking some well-known story dynamics and really turning them on their head. At least that was the case in book 1 and 2. And I adored book 1. I really liked book 2. I think it was a little bit of a step down from book 1's like incredible 5 out of 5 star reading experience, but it was still really good. So obviously I was really excited to read Oathbound, which just recently came out. I will say it starts off really quick and structurally from a plot point of view, which I'm actually liking. We kind of have like 3 different pods within the story in terms of what we're following. Because again, as we've progressed through this plot, it's gotten bigger and bigger. Characters are now in multiple locations. The threat of things have really evolved in like a lot of different directions too. So I feel like it allows us to really explore and understand like multiple facets of the plot. Allows the characters to sort of have their individual progression that they need to have. It also allows the plot to move forward in multiple directions at once, which I think is good for pacing. And so far I feel like the first 100 pages I've read pretty quickly. Initially I was like pretty disoriented and I'm like, what is happening? But I feel like there was kind of a shift after I passed the 50 page mark where I was like, okay, I get what's happening. I'm rooted in this story. I'm interested. Like, let's see where things go. A lot of reveals happened at the end of book 2. A lot of masks, let's say, were removed. And we're in a few different perilous situations. So there's like a lot more to be discovered, but I do feel like quite a bit of fallout that can be explored within this installment, which I'm excited about. It's long. I think this is by far the longest installment so far at over 600 pages. So we will just have to see. But I read 100 pages, so far so good. I'm gonna go get ready to eat breakfast and go to the pool. I'm obviously gonna bring my book with me. Great reading vibes, you know what I mean? So that's the day. Happy Saturday, everyone. A little Saturday morning brekkie. It's Sunday morning, so we opted for some breakfast tacos. I also owe y'all a reading update because I've read a good chunk of my book. Hello. I put on a cute dress. But I'm about to take it off to put on the clothes in which I will be rotting in for the rest of the day, because today is a true rot day. There's this TikTok creator I love that does me day, me day. That's the type of day I'm having. Clay went to a baseball game. I said, no, I don't want to go outside. I want to stay inside. I want to read. I want to drink tea. I want to watch my Chinese drama. And I want to wear not real clothes. So that's what we're doing today. Let's give a reading update though. So I have passed the 200 page mark of Oathbound by Tracy Dion. I feel like this book is really starting to pick up. I am interested, I'm entertained, I feel like I'm reading it quickly. As a tier ranking, I'm not sure where it's fitting in. I think Legendborn is still my favorite. I'm curious if this is gonna come in second or third, but still the quality is definitely there and I'm interested. This does feel like there's a lot of training, setup, backstory, which is going to be necessary for the next installment. I don't find that a detriment though. I am maybe in a camp that's less popular where I actually really enjoy training montages, solo journeys where characters can really think deeply about themselves or explore, ooh, a cardinal's in my backyard. Explore themselves, explore their powers. I think it's important for character growth and like the next step for a character arc, especially in like a longer fantasy series like this. So I'm enjoying that we're getting that on multiple fronts with multiple different characters. It does mean some of my favorite characters are separated, but I think it's for a good cause. And I think particularly Breeze chapters and Cell's chapters are really successful at doing this sort of exploration thing, which I like. But in general, I really appreciate that the cast has really opened up quite a bit in terms of all the storylines we're following, because there's quite a few disparate storylines, but I feel like it's to this book's benefit in expanding the plot progression, like where we're going. And I also feel like we're learning more about the magic system too, which I appreciate. The plot of this series moves so fast that sometimes there's not a lot of time for like in-depth explanation, but because there's training elements, I feel like I'm learning more about the lore, the background, the world building, which I appreciate because I like that stuff. So 200 pages in, I'm moving and grooving. I definitely plan to read a little bit more of this today. I'm hoping like 50 or 60 more pages, but I am gonna sidebar and start Beautyland as well because I do have my upcoming book club meeting that's now in a few days and I haven't started this book yet. I think this will be a pretty quick read though. It's only 300 pages and like, I think it'll flow pretty quickly, but I need to start it. So I'm hoping to read like 75 to 100 pages of this today so I can get cooking and then sort of alternate between these two books over the next few days before my book club meeting and before the end of the vlog, obviously. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go change now in clothes I can rot in and make myself a cup of tea because I deserve it, quite frankly. So, bye. Honey, this cold and flu 911 tea. I'm not feeling like super under the weather, but I am feeling congested and I love this stuff for that. Let's go get a teacup. Little teacup with a steeper. I'll even use my tea scoop for this and be really official. 1 to 2 spoonfuls. We'll do 2. We'll make it strong. Oh yeah, smells good. Smells good. Set that timer for 5 minutes. Me day, me day, me day. Me and my Chinese drama. Also, Matilda is vibing as well. All right, we're cozying up on the couch and I'm gonna start my second book of the vlog before I carry on with my Chinese drama. And quick reminder about what Beautyland is about. So this is more of a lit fic sci-fi leaning book. I think it's elements of a coming of age story. Our main character is an alien and they were basically rehomed on a human family and they've always felt othered. And I think this is a story of our main character going on a journey to try to find other people like her in the world. So I think it's going to be very much centering identity. I think it's going to be a very personal story. And I'm very much looking forward to diving right in. So I'm going to get started because I do have a page goal for this today, especially because book club is looming, incoming. I am behind. Trader Joe's frozen orange chicken for dinner tonight. And my Chinese drama. I won't deny, it's quite late right now. Clay's actually sleeping, so I'm vlogging out here. But I got caught up watching my show which has been the story of my life recently. But I did stop and do a little intermission and read. But I immediately started watching my show again. I didn't update y'all in the vlog. But let's take a minute and talk about Beautyland so far. So I read the first section of this book, like the first part. It's kind of written almost like long. There's not clear chapter breaks. It's almost like the book is segmented really in like 5 parts. And then there's like page breaks as you go along. Narratively speaking, it is very unique. Like the voice of the narrator is rather distinct, very creative, a little difficult to follow, but purposefully so. And the first section is very much like her youth, coming of age, her being a child, her interpreting and experiencing the world around her, her relationship with her mother, you know, the other inputs in her life, and her just sort of evaluating, commenting, and experiencing those things. I love a coming of age story personally, so that aspect of it has really been something I have resonated with, and just in general, just like really enjoy. It's unique though, so I don't know if I'm fully like capturing or following everything. And I'm also not totally clear like the sci-fi element. Like I can't tell if the sci-fi element is like imaginary or real, which I think is like an interesting question to like ponder as I'm reading the book too. So I read about 75 pages of this. I'm now gonna go read some Oathbound, fall asleep, and I'm gonna see y'all in the mornings. Good night. I watched 9 episodes of The First for Us today. And if that's not a me day, I don't know what is. What else could be besides that? Matilda and I are here for a reading update. Isn't that right, Mindy? But it's actually 5:30 the next day. I did a pretty bad job vlogging today, but we're fixing that. Happy to report, Matilda, while I haven't done a very good job vlogging, I have done a really great job reading. So much so that when I started this vlog, I was a little worried I wasn't gonna be able to finish realistically before book club, but now I'm pretty confident things are gonna be okay, Matilda. So first things first, I read another 50 pages of Oathbound. I don't have much new to say because it's only 50 pages and I have like a lot of this book left. But I'm tracking where I need to track with this, which is really the update. But the other update I wanted to have is Beautyland, because I have read over 50% of this book, specifically 180 pages. So I have 120 pages left, Millie. And I'm liking this, but it's also a very unique read. So I feel like the premise, which kind of sells it that this is like our main character is an alien, they don't really feel like they belong, is more, at this point anyway, it feels more like an intro. It's not sci-fi. This reads much more, oh, no ma'am. Feels more like a thought starter for the book. This reads much more like literary fiction. I know there's a dog inside. No. And the main sci-fi aspect of this book is that she basically sends these faxes to her reports who are supposedly out in space, like recounting and kind of explaining various observations like throughout her life. Could she be an alien? Maybe, but I feel like it's much more of a device used to have this sort of observational, like literal recounting alongside like the actual narrative of the story. The book is frankly quite straightforward. It is just this woman recounting her life, and it's very sweet, honestly. Initially, I was like not sure how I was feeling about it because the writing style is quite unique. It's, as I mentioned, very observational. Matilda's over me talking about this. And it almost has this like stream of consciousness element to it because there's no like chapters, there's just chapter breaks. We just move from like one scene to another, to another, to another. And we're very much in our main character's mind, her thoughts, her feelings as she's processing things in the moment and also after the fact. So it's very, very slice of life in that capacity, with this tinge of like our main character is a rather unique personality. She's very honest, she's very caring, and it's much more just about like her experience with life, her experience living Earthside, her experience with like the beauty, the horrors, the frustrating elements of life. And it's honestly quite a tender story in its just scope, which is kind of limited in some ways. I realized that, wow, I think I'm actually really liking this book when I like teared up reading a scene of her in the school play, and I wasn't even fully aware that like how emotionally connected I was to the story like until that moment, but I was like crying some tears in like all those R-Town scenes, and it just like really landed for me. You slowly then all at once just become incredibly endeared with the main character. It's not unique because pretty much everyone who is almost directly connected with her in a lot of ways is like very endeared to her too. She's just a sweet and very likable and kind person. And seeing her just sort of move throughout her life has been really like entertaining so far. I also love, again, those facts moments she has, because it's like these really snapshotted moments of her like pen to paper, like what she thinks about the human experience throughout multiple different small and large moments of her life. And it's just like insightful. I feel like if you enjoy the writing style and you like slice of life, very character focused stories with kind of a unique narrator, which you can feel very endeared to, this could be a great book for you. But I wouldn't say it's like something that's full of like a lot of plot. And in fact, it's limited plot, I think, is what's so beautiful about it, because it's really like life, you know? And I'm reading it so fast. Like, I basically have read 180 pages in 24 hours. I've picked it up and I've just been like flowing through it. I'm just really liking it. And like, I'm almost in this moment as I'm explaining it to you, like realizing also like how much I'm liking it, because the writing style was weird. Like, I was like, I don't even fully know what's going on here, but I guess I'm into it, like quite a bit. Has anyone else read this book? It's unique. It's quite unique, but there's that. I gotta wrap up some other stuff. At dinner, Clay and I are watching this Korean variety show we're enjoying immensely. It's the evening time now, Millie. She's trying to bark at dogs as they walk by our window. Such is life. My camera died, but here's dinner complete. I had a little goat cheese, but we just got some roasted veg, some chicken, and that's that. Yes, that's right. I was watching old episodes of Run BTS with Clay tonight, because sometimes you just gotta walk down memory lane. But now we're in bed, switching back to Oathbound because I want to get over the 300 page mark before tomorrow. And I'm maybe gonna finish my other book tomorrow and then focus again, prioritize fully back on Oathbound to wrap up this vlog. If I finish both of these books, it'll be almost 1,000 pages in 1 week, which is definitely a new record for like this year, because my reading has been a bit slower. So I'd be very impressed with myself. Hello, good morning. I'm up and dressed, which I'm quite proud of myself about. And we're gonna sit down together right now and do a reading sprint of Oathbound. So let's do it. I read a good chunk last night, as you can see. Be proud of me. Lunch is another adult Lunchable. Very much in my grape era right now. Hello. I've changed again, but I have a reading update. Hold on. I have passed the 400 page mark of Oathbound, meaning I have about 250 pages left of this book. I'm also on track to finish Beautyland today, which again means I think I'm gonna be able to finish all of these books, which I'm pretty proud of. But let's do a reading update of Oathbound. I feel like I'm unofficially gonna say this is my second favorite book of the series so far. I'm liking this more than the second installment. In particular, I feel like once you pass the halfway point, it's gotten quite fun and very hard to put down. Specifically, there's kind of a romantic plot line that I wasn't expecting, but I'm kind of into it. And the authors included some really fun tropes, which is a nice breather, because I would say this book is like really intense. It has a lot of like deep core emotional elements to it. It has a lot of great commentary on society, all of it just naturally included in its plot. But it's fun that it also has like other well-known like YA moments alongside its like more serious stuff, like, oh, there's only one bed, oh, there's like a cute romance, maybe a little bit of a love triangle. Like, I love those things, and I love them especially in YA. So I love the balance of like great serious plot with great fun plot too, which I definitely feel like we're getting a great mix of within this installment. And also why I'm feeling like I'm really getting my groove with this third installment here, and I'm really looking forward to reading more. Like, I wasn't expecting this romantic subplot line, but I'm not mad at it. I feel like it's gonna be a little controversial within the fandom, but listen, I'm Team Bree, so ultimately, whatever makes Bree happy makes me happy, you know? In other news, I also read another 50 pages of Beautyland, so I think I have about 100 or like 80 pages left of that book. Again, loving it. I feel like I've really fallen into the cadence of that story. I love the straightforward nature of the narrative. I feel very emotionally invested, which is just like nice. And I'm really looking forward to chatting about it at book club, which is coming up in 2 days, and I'm totally gonna finish. Really brought it to the wire this time, as I always do, but hey, I came through, so that's all that I really care about, you know? Anyway, I gotta get back to work, but I wanted to do a reading update. I've officially finished Beautyland, and it was honestly so good, so insightful, 4.5 stars. I really, really loved it. I'm making a stir fry for dinner. Then it's time for more Ian's Bizarre B&B. Yeah. And stir fry is done. Alrighty, TV watching time is over. First book is also complete. So that means our full priority for the next 2 days is finishing Oathbound. And I'm gonna sit down and read a chunk of this right now. Let's get to reading. No book is entertaining when I'm successfully able to stay up more than 10 minutes when I begin reading at night. Because I get so sleepy now on demand. But I read like 90 pages so fast. I would say this back half sequence has been so entertaining in all of the ways like YA is fun, and all the ways the series is fun. It's a great isolated setting, almost heisty, which I appreciate. It's almost like a novel within a novel. I think the parameters of this like back half rising action has made for such an entertaining and fun situation from a character dynamics point of view, from a plot movement point of view. Like, this was so good. Like, I couldn't put it down. I couldn't put it down. I am so entertained, and I still am entertained. I'm like forcing myself to go to sleep. I have like this much left, but I could definitely stay up till very late at night finishing this book if I let myself. I am really liking some of the character pivots in this book, and if you would have asked me last book how I would have felt about it, I don't think I would have said I would have liked it, but I do like it, you know? Anyway, very entertained. Lots of reveals. Less like immediate combat action, which I actually like. I feel like this book feels like there's action when there needs to be. I also feel like the magic and everything feels very clear. I feel like there's more articulate world building, similar to like how I felt about Legendborn. So yeah, I'm having a great time. Morning, friends. Let's have a cup of coffee. Finish this book, perhaps. Maybe. Hi guys, I made my hair darker. But also, I finished officially both my books, and guess what? Book club is tonight, and T-minus like 3 hours. So you know what, friends? We did it. I also read about 1,000 pages over the course of this vlog, which I'm quite jazzed about because that's definitely the best I've done so far this year. So a win is a win. But let's go ahead and wrap up everything I was able to read. So first and foremost, Oathbound. I read so much more of this last night than I was anticipating that I just woke up and finished it. It was easy breezy, but I would say like the final 30% of this book was excellent. I was hooked. I was on the edge of my seat. I found the reveals and the pivots in the plot to be personally pretty entertaining. I can understand now why. Going into this, I heard some chirps that some people weren't as happy. I can see how some people might not love it as much, but it's not because the quality has changed. I think it's more of like a shipping situation, if you know what I mean, which, you know, to each their own. But I Really enjoyed the advancement of this story. I feel like I learned a lot more of how the magic worked. I thought we got more background and context to the secret society itself, which I appreciated. I also felt like there was some good character arcs for our main characters, and I also appreciated the separation of a lot of our characters so they could have that personal growth. I feel like it just kind of brought the maturity of the story to like a whole new place in a way that I overall enjoyed. I still think Legend Board is my favorite of the cycle so far, but this has definitely moved into the #2 spot. But I'm so happy to be back reading this series. And then alongside that, I also did read Beautyland, which was a beautiful, insightful, very personal journey following a woman from her early childhood through a large section of her adulthood. It was funny and insightful, and I really appreciated just like how introspective it was. I don't know, it was a very like heartwarming and tender story, and the voice of the main character was just truly amazing. And she may or may not be an alien, but she's also incredibly human, and that's kind of like the beauty of the story. And I would honestly give this like a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and probably Oathbound like a 4 stars. But overall, lots of pages consumed and read over the course of this vlog, which I'm very happy about. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.